Hi, and welcome to the 100th episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast, a show with meaningful conversations in English with non-native speakers. My name is Jędrek,
My name is Masha.
and today we are joined by two special guests. Two, not one, it's two. And we are very happy to have Ela with us, the legendary Columbo's wife. And Ela, it's a huge pleasure that you are with us today,
Hello,
that you finally
everyone.
decided. And Kasia, who is also very special to our show because it's been, Kasia, you may remind us, over 1 year.
Yeah,
Wait,
over 1 year.
yeah, over 1 year
I was
ago
the
that we met for the
special
first time.
guest in the
Yes.
first episode of this podcast.
So there we are, with two absolutely special guests. And well, we are glad that you are here and you have been with us for quite some time. I know you are also active listeners of our show. So how does it feel like, Ella, for you to be on the show that you like?
I'm happy that I can be today in this podcast because I remember that Jędrek a few months ago said me, Ela, you can.
I was
invite,
nagging her,
yes,
yeah.
yes, but generally I'm afraid that my English is not good, and so on and so on. But on Monday is very spontaneous decision, to be honest, because Jędrek mentioned me that on Wednesday we have 100 episode, and I thought that okay,
Now
I
or
can
never. It's
try.
now or never, yeah. All right. I hope, Ella, that you will also convince yourself in the first place that, you're.
And I want to mention that I'm happy that I can met Masha face to face because I wanted to hear face to face like Masha say round one.
Yes. So, Masha, there's a task for
Oh,
you,
now there's pressure, pressure.
Yes. Yes. You have to lower your voice, do it properly. Kasia, what about you? What is your stress level? Because you were also mentioning that going live, recording, performing in a foreign language is, a stressful thing in general. How are you dealing
Yeah,
with this?
to be honest, the stress level is the same, if not even higher than it was 1 year ago, because now I should be more fluent in English. And to be
Yeah,
honest,
you
I
are a testament to
yeah.
my teaching.
But to be honest, I feel better in speaking in English, but still, I don't think that I have got something interesting to say, but I hope I will manage to do this. And to be honest, I feel, oh, it's a pleasure to meet you today again.
Right.
What can I
Great,
say
great.
more?
So, and Masha, how do you feel?
I have a feeling I'm going to cry at the end.
All right.
The tears
All
are
right.
already welling up listening to these
Yeah, it's a
warm
pity. It's a
words.
pity we don't have a cake, and even a greater pity that even if we had a cake, we couldn't share it. So yeah, that's the way in the 21st century. We are scattered around Europe. I am in France. Masha, you are in Kiev, in Ukraine, and both Ella and Kasia, you are in Warsaw, right? All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we are,
So
and
maybe
we meet.
for episode 200, we can meet in Warsaw.
Oh, that'll be nice,
Oh, that would
Yeah,
be nice.
that'd be
Great
nice to
So,
idea.
meet.
Yeah.
Yes,
uh,
yes, live, and to record that in one room. Not,
yeah.
Maybe,
yeah.
Jędrek, maybe in your office when you started your first lesson in Warsaw. Powiśle?
You mean in Powiśle? Yeah, except I no longer have access to it. So
Okay.
but yeah, that'd be nice. Or in front of it, why not? That would be some kind of. Okay, great. So, yeah, we are here today. Kasia, you said that you're afraid that there may be nothing interesting coming off your mouth.
Yeah, of course.
But it's contrary to my experience. It's contrary to and it doesn't. I don't mean you in particular. I mean everybody. We think about ourselves to be ordinary people, but in fact, these are the most interesting things that ordinary people produce. I don't know what is interesting these days in the media. Is it something shocking? Is it something, I don't know, extraordinary? So to me, what is really interesting is your perception, your point of view, and at the same time, it's something unlike everything else we find in the media, right? You are not celebrities. That's great to me. Yeah. So not yet. Yes, exactly. Not yet.
I'm working on it.
Enjoy
Yes.
while you can. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Kasia, I know you are present on the Instagram. From time to time, you post some stories and so on. Ela, you are absent, I guess, as far as posting is concerned. You
Yes,
don't
yes.
post content. All right.
Yes.
Great. Fine. So, Masha, I would like maybe you to go to round one, sound the round one, make Ela happy.
Is everybody
And
ready? Yeah?
Yeah.
So we go to round one.
Great.
Bam.
Yeah, you
All
had
right.
to do the bum.
Yes. What is the question of the day, Masha? Come on. Let's throw it
question-
at our guests.
Yeah, the question of the day is usually they are absolutely random, but today we thought that because it's the beginning of another school year, maybe we can talk about school.
Education.
So the question, as if we don't talk about education every
Yes.
time. So the question is, do you think that good grades at school mean or translate on successful career?
What is your experience?
Didn't your parents tell you? Because when I was, a child, that's what my parents told me. If you don't do well at school, you'll end up cleaning the streets. And then 20 years later, at school reunion, you see your ex-classmates who didn't do well, and now they have great careers.
They are driving BMWs.
BMWs, yeah.
What is your experience? What do you think about the grades and career? How do you see that from your perspective? And is it worth it to pursue the highest grades in school?
Maybe I can start if Kasia.
Yeah, sure, Ela, go on,
me.
go on.
Okay, generally, of course, I think that is very complex question. But first of all, I think that we knew different people in our world when we know that these people has only basic education. For example, Steve Jobs, and Bill Gates. But I think that it's not ordinary and not its average, because when I observe people from my environment, my company, not only this company, but also earlier, I have noticed that generally these people have great education, like different studies and another
postgraduate certificates and so on.
Certificates, yes, especially in IT, because I work in IT, and of course I know that I know several people who finished specially study like IT, but for example, I didn't finish this study. When I started work another area, and before and later I changed my occupied and
occupation
occupation, yes. And
but I think, Ela, your situation is not uncommon. I think that there are many people in IT who are not,
yes,
let's say, who don't come from the IT background. That means, you know, they didn't do the studies and so on, but they simply got interested in it and somehow, you know, ended up in IT. IT, I think, is
yes.
very inclusive in that sense, you know.
Of course, I agree with you, especially that today we have fashionable to IT, and different people from different area want to give work in IT. But I think that generally education is very important, in my opinion, because education broaden our knowledge, and you know, we can meet different people, and we can get new different information, and we can achieve step by steps to achieve our goals. So for me, it's very important.
Great, thanks, Ela, for that initial comment. Kasia, what is your experience in reference to that, you know, grades career kind of
Yeah, to be
relationship?
honest, to my mind, I remind myself a book, and it's the same book that I was talking about year ago. So firstly, I have to tell you that I read different books too. It's of
All
course
right, great. We know.
yeah.
Kasia read only one book in her life.
Yeah, but this is a very good book, you know.
All right, great.
I can support my argument by it. It's of course the Kahneman's book about thinking fast and thinking slow.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And
it's classic. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, he wrote about it too, and he said that we have got the tendency to evaluate our intuition in predicting somebody's career, somebody's future life. For example, I don't remember the exact example from the book, but I remember the girl that started reading very fast, in a very early age, and the tendency goes to this, that we can predict that she will be a good student, that she will be a good
But Kasia,
worker.
wait, to make it clear, she learned to read very fast, not very much, but very fast.
Yes, but of course we can go down this line that if we see, and this is and right now what I think about it, if we see that someone is engaged to the studying, to learning, can devote his lots of time to in the school, in lessons, in homeworks. Firstly, we could easily predict that, I think this person will be successful in the future. But there are but this is very I don't know how to tell it, straightforward conclusion.
Yes.
That it is very
It's
easy
some
to
kind
connect
of
these two features.
Oversimplification or simplification.
Yeah. But of course, we don't take to account many factors that happen in life. For example, oh
Winning
my
a
God,
lottery.
the bad ships, but the other side, some tragedies, drug addiction, and some diseases, and many other factors that impact somebody's future. But yes, for us, to be more clear, it's easiest way to connect it like that the more somebody's learning and have as a result, better grades, we think that he will be better, you know, like more successful. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a great point, Kasia. That there's some kind of a mental shortcut that we make, right? Good grades.
Yes, and I can't agree. I can't not agree with it. Sorry, but I don't agree 100% because, of course, when somebody has got good grades, it shows us, as I said earlier, that he can engage in working. You know, yeah, and that's very important. That's very important skill to engage and to just to engage to the process.
So I have to ask you, all of you, a semi-private question. What kind of students were you at school? What kind of grade levels were you? Kasia, were you an A student?
Okay,
B student?
so I can be honest because in the primary school I had very good grades, and then I was like moderate.
Right.
And all the study, the high school, and I was moderate, and but fortunately I passed all the exam in first.
Oh, that's nice. First attempt, you mean?
Yeah, on first attempt, yes, exactly. But there were many people that, of course, had better grades, but sometimes they pass, sometimes don't. But I was standing on this table, in this table, you know. I was just stable. My grades were
Just stable,
stable.
yeah, stable level. You know
Yes.
that.
Yes,
Ela, I'm
sorry.
curious about you. Were you an A student or lower than
think that in primary school I was an ordinary student, but in high school I was the best student. I was.
All right.
I had higher average, but I think that especially, for example, in my podyplomowe studia,
Postgraduate
study, because I think that because I choose what I want to study. But when I was in primary school, I had to learn subjects, different subjects, not my, what
not the
I
thing
like.
that you,
Yes. But generally, I agree with Kasia about school and so on. But I have two questions, to be honest, because first of all, what is means successful? When I think about successful, like, you have to have big money, you have to be
high position in a
high
company.
position, yes, in the big company and so on. Okay, but if we think about successful, like I can make what I like and I feel happy and so on, I think that it's complex question, to be honest. And secondly, when I think about average people, because maybe I have a bad benchmark, because when I think about people from my school, like liceum,
high school,
I think that my colleagues today today achieve successful, to be honest. Of course, we have people who maybe not lost life, but maybe have done good life. But generally, most of people from my school achieve good position and so on. And I believe that my school help me and my colleagues achieve this because we have different subjects, not ordinary, or ordinary also, but also another, like, for example, philosophy, arts, and so on. And I believe that we can broaden our horizons, horizons, yes. And I believe that I can meet different people and different subjects, and I can develop in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. It opens, another question, but I would like to ask Masha first. Masha, you, I think it goes without saying that you were a straight A student.
I'm trying to take it as a compliment, really. Well, yeah, in primary school I was a straight A student, and actually C, I mean, occasional B was frowned upon. C was a total disgrace. I remember, I will never forget how I got my first C in math test, and I was afraid to go home. I missed one school bus, and I only, when I plucked up my courage, I took the second. But in high school, I was basically mostly BA, like that.
All right. And your university days?
Ah,
Oh, C and B. We see the degeneration.
no, mostly B. Yeah, I got
Mostly B.
mostly Bs.
All right. All right. So in my case, I was a very good student only during the first year of primary school when the grades were introduced. So that is basically the fourth grade in Poland, because the first three grades there's just like a descriptive grade, so they don't rate you. But then, so I was very good in the fourth grade, and then it was a steady decline. No, I'm kidding. I was more like a BC student, except and occasionally A student in certain areas, like languages, for example. Yes, but it's I was never really paying attention to the so-called average. There's an obsession with the average grade, because the average grade decides about many things. If even later, I guess the employers they also pay attention to the average, not to particular subjects, but to the average. So, but I never paid attention to that.
How to say kujon?
Yeah, it's a nerd, I guess, right? Masha, a nerd is someone who studies crams a lot. It's a nerd.
Zadrot. Yeah.
Zadrot. All right. Okay, great. I wanted to ask you one question that came to my mind, but and hopefully it didn't disappear. Nobody is, of course, questioning the value of education and of school as such, like this broadening of horizons, what Ela, what you mentioned, The only question is about the grading system. Is it okay to grade people based on a scale, let's say from I don't know, A to F or 1 to 6, like we do in Poland? What's the grading system in Ukraine, Masha?
12 points.
12.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's really
that is
difficult.
interesting. It goes from 1 to 12?
It goes from 1 to 12. And for me,
What's the highest?
Well, 12.
12. No, because in Germany, 1 is the highest, and 6, I guess, is the lowest.
Really?
So it's like, yeah, it's
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but if you score 1, you are the best.
Number 1. Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Fine. But yeah, what do you think about grading? Is there any fair way to grade, progress in education? What do you think,
Yes.
Ela?
Yes, I think that yes. In Poland, of course, yes.
In Poland, anywhere, I mean, grading, because we talk about assigning some points or some kind of letters, some kind of grade.
Yes, I believe
performance.
that generally people need to stage and step, because and we have different purpose because not only school, but in our life. Because if, for example, we have education all time without break and without a possibility to choose, I think that it's more complex. But I understand that when I younger, I don't know what I want to do in the future. I think that when I choose high school, I'm not sure what I want to do. Of course, I think that, for example, in case like Kasia, medicine, yes.
Yeah.
I think that, of course, it's very concrete path, and I think that you have to plan your whole life.
There
In
are
this
also a lot of
position.
choices, as I know, Kasia, right? To make even
Yeah.
within this path, you have a lot of choices, specializations, and whatnot. So,
yes, but generally, I think that it's better when we have different different steps and break, because we can make choose. And even if I think about high school like lyceum, not university, because I can decide that I want to learn in high school, or I want to learn in school like zawodówka, technical.
Oh my God, vocational school, right?
Vocational school, yes. And later I can choose study, and for me it's very, of course, important. But I know that we can choose different university and different study, and in the future we can make different things, not connected with our.
There's so many biographies, to be honest, that show that somebody who graduated biology is now working in the media, and somebody who graduated journalism is someone completely else later on. It's true. Not sure about. All right.
I want to add one thing. One thing. I don't funny for Polish education. I notice different bad things and things to correct, because I know that, for example, sometimes we are overwhelmed schedule. And children
There's
have
too much
details and so on.
Especially in good high schools, I mean, good. Why are they good? Because they work a lot.
Yes.
But yes, it's true. The burden is sometimes it seems to be too much. But I must tell you one thing, that right now I am experiencing the education in an international school, that is, where my child is going, and I see that our perhaps complaining about the effort, well, there's so much work. It's not yet the high school. It's true. It's primary school, but I see how much Asians, and that means the Chinese, the Koreans, the Indians, how much they invest, or how much they push their children, to perform. It's something out of our league, to be honest. Out of ordinary, for sure. So it's absolutely amazing. I wanted to because Ela, you kind of you talked about this division of education into various schools and stages and so on. But regarding the assessment, the grades, I mean the notes, Kasia, what do you think? Is it fair to be graded from 1 to 6, like in Poland, or
So
from A to F?
I wrote down two things to not forget. So firstly, I was thinking during when Ela was talking, and what came to my mind is that the problem is not in grading, in grades. Of course, okay, firstly, the problem are not the grades, but the evaluation system. Because I think it's important to somebody to confront with the evaluation of somebody's work. For example, I'm writing down an essay, sorry, and it is good to me to confront the grade that I get from it.
Basically a feedback, right?
Feedback, exactly. Yeah, to get the feedback. Yeah. And of course, the more clear, the better. So I think it depends on maybe the age, what system of grades we choose. If it will be numerous, like from 1 to 6, or
1 to 12.
Or 1 to 12, yeah, exactly. Or what came to my mind too was the pain scales, that they they should fit to the receivers, to the patient. For example, when we have got kids, the pain scales are like visual with facial appearance, like smile,
smileys,
smiley, the crying face, angry. So
I receive a crying face on your essay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is a good idea, but I think that's maybe the problem that we should focus a little bit more in giving kids and people grades. And what more can I say about grades? I think just as I said, the more clear system, the better. I think I'm not sure if there's anything better than numerous system, because it's just the easiest one. And about the evaluation system, I think that's the whole problem, because because it impacts a lot, especially how we learn and what our brain remember, and I think all the thinking processes depends on it, because I remember all the ABC tests that sometimes somebody asked me questions, and I was like, oh, I don't know right now, but if it would be ABC, I could choose one of the answer.
Of course.
Yeah, and that's all the pathology of the evaluation system. Yes, but I can agree that grades are important to give students a feedback if they are all right, or if they should try more.
Were you ever hurt by inappropriate grading, Masha? What is your experience?
Oh, once we were given an essay, and it was, just to put you in the context, it was like 30-something 5 years ago. So it was pretty, let's say the ideology was pretty rigid. And the topic of an essay was, we were, I don't remember the novel, but in this novel, a woman at the end, she finds herself in a, desperate, hopeless situation, and she chooses a way out, is, to commit suicide. And the question was, the suicide of this character shows the strength or the weakness of her character. And the mainstream, of course, and this is how this novel was taught, that this is her strength. But I just didn't see it that way. And my essay was, and I and I
How
explained
can a
why.
suicide can ever be?
Yeah.
How can suicide ever be considered a strength? I mean, come on.
And I got you know, the lowest possible grade. But my argumentation was there and it was solid. I mean, so what if I don't agree with the mainstream opinion? Because that's when I was kind of hurt, and even my mom went to school. But you know, me wouldn't be me if I didn't make a reference to pop culture. I hope you've all seen this movie, fantastic movie, Interstellar. And there is an
Oh, yeah.
episode when his son, he wants the main character, he wants to send his son to an agriculture college so that he becomes a proper farmer. And he's having a conversation with the school teacher, and they tell him that, well, you know, we can't send him to college because there's high competition, and his score is not high enough. And they give him, you know, one, for example, it's supposed to be 7, but he's got 6 or 5. And Matthew McConaughey asks the teacher, "What is your size? What is it, 38?" So it takes 2 digits to measure your ass, and it takes only 1 to decide my son's future. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. But are you sure that was in Interstellar?
Yeah, come on.
All I remember from Interstellar was that there was only corn grown on Earth.
Yeah, they
because
were
that
trying
was
to
so I was
no, and the corn was also dying, so they desperately needed
yeah.
farmers. But actually,
Okay.
I wanted to because we're talking about, you know, grades and assuming that grades represent knowledge. But I don't actually think that it's always the case. At least I remember my school years, and yes, in primary school, my grade definitely stood for some knowledge. But then later on, I understood how the system works. And I did well at school, not because I, you know, studied hard. I just understood how it works. And I understood that you don't need to put in a lot of efforts to get the grade which will satisfy your parents. You know, there is a system. You know, first of all, your reputation starts working for you. If you are a straight A student and then one day you come not very well prepared, the teacher will usually give you a better grade than another, you know, like a C student would have received. Secondly, you kind of figure out how it works. Let's say the frequency, how often they will, you know, the teacher will ask you or something like this. And these little tricks. And then you establish relationships with teachers. And all this, this is what the grade consists of, not only of knowledge. This was my feeling. So
I would add just one thing, because you mentioned, you know, writing a response in an essay and so on. I think there are certain subjects that fit better, you know, this grading, you know, and there are certain subjects that are very hard to grade, like exactly like languages, like writing. How can you grade rate or rate writing? I mean, it's very hard unless you focus only on the technical aspect of it.
no, but
But
your
you know,
argumentation
we know
must be
cases.
solid. If you
Your
can,
argumentation, yeah, but you're right. But it's I think difficult to grade an essay objectively, right? Because there are so many layers of it. It's even the fact, you know, that professional writers write books and then they send them to editors or publishers, and the publishers reject, saying that this is crap, you know. And then you know, it turns out to be Harry Potter, you know, and selling billions of copies, you know.
yeah, but publishers look at your book from not from the perspective of its value
From the commercial,
artistic, but
I
from
think,
whether it will, you know, yeah,
sell
whether
or
you
not.
can sell it.
Yeah,
So
of
that's
course.
a
But
little bit
this is also some
different.
kind of, it's also some kind of rating, right? I mean,
Yeah, but it's not the quality of your work per se.
you're right. You're right.
And you know, I think we cannot kind of put the university and school in the same bundle here, because school, it's this ecosystem, and you develop these intimate relationships with your teachers because you're there for 10 years. And I think the grading is totally not objective there. Well, mostly not. But university, it's very different, you know. Your professors are total strangers. You know them for one semester, and then you move on. But school, it's different. That's why the grades at school, I don't know, knowledge is maybe 60% of what the grade consists of. At least this was my, my experience at school.
I understand your point of view, but when I think about assessments, I'm afraid that if in our school we don't have assessments, great. I'm afraid that children don't learn because I believe that assessments motivate us.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
for example, maybe you have noticed that, for example, if we can have lessons free, for example, for language, English language, I have noticed in my, for example, in my company, that when we don't have to pay, people don't learn. But if we have to learn and if we have to pay and if we have tests and rating, we start to learn. And I believe that generally ratings and so on have a big motivation for people and also for children, because for me it's like rivalizacja.
Yeah, rivalry, you know, or
Rivalry.
competition.
Of course, health competition. It's the similar.
Yeah, I would even say that for kids especially, you know, they don't understand the reason of learning, I guess. Or am I treating children a little bit, you know, but you know, what I want to say is that, yeah, for kids, they don't see the reason, why am I even learning that, you know, why would I need it in the future and so on. So that's perhaps, you know, this kind of, you know, earning points or grades or smileys, collecting, you know, that might be the primary source of motivation. It's true.
It's interesting also the healthy competition, because I had, you know, very short experience of teaching children. And I had to grade them, and it was such a pain in the neck, you know. It was the most difficult thing to do, and it was my kind of approach, let's say, was once I got to know all these kids, you know, I got one test and the second test with them. I started grading them. How should I, like, individually? Of course, individually, but I compared their work with their previous work, not up to some standard, you know. For example, the standard is when you get 4 out of 5 correct, you get 4. But I knew if they were making progress or not. And sometimes if it's a straight A student, I mean, I have higher expectation to this person. Maybe not even expectations, but I see that sometimes, you know, he could have done better if he
and in the
put in
end,
more effort. And the
in the end,
grade
A
is
doesn't equal
totally
A.
not objective. My grading was totally, I think, not objective. It was very subjective. But I still would think that it's well, I would do it the same way if I have to, if I had to do
It's
it
very
now.
hard. It's very hard to do it objectively, I think. And because if A means A in each case, you know, it's the same sort of quality, then you might be hurting people.
Yeah.
This is the paradox. Yes. All right.
But you know, if this C-level kid just one day shows up and, you know, kills it, or it not kills it, I mean kills it according to his standards, he shows me something, of course I will reward him with a, you know, maybe not A, but A- or something like this, or rather a B+, I think is better. So
I have got one observation. I don't know if I can speak.
No,
Sure.
of course. It's a floor
Sorry,
is
sorry,
Free
yours.
sorry for
podcast.
sorry for this, but I will come back to Masha to the story of the as essay, because I think you touched here a very important aspect about good argumentation and to evaluate, to assess not the finished part, but the process, thinking process that leads us to some conclusions, even if the conclusions aren't accurate.
Yeah, or
Or
accurate or in line with the key.
In
because that was
line
the
with
key.
the
Yeah.
there is no
Yeah.
accurate and
Okay,
not
in line.
accurate.
Yeah, you're right. And I think I think it's very important because we can use it in, I think, many of subjects. For example, mathematics. Maybe the Finnish. Will you help me? You are
The
doing
solution of the
some
problem.
solution. Yeah, thank you. Isn't correct, but you can see that the person was thinking in a good way. You can appreciate it. You can evaluate it, because the low grade can absolutely demotivate demotivate the person. And another one thing, about evaluating a thinking process, it's opening open answers that I have to explain why I choose something, why I choose this answer. And I think we should, in our evaluation system, mostly focus on the thinking process, and we should more focus on it.
Which is, Kasia, sorry to interrupt, which is totally uneconomical,
Yes,
because
unfortunately.
it takes reading, it takes a human being who goes through, I know, the huge number of let's say tests or sheets
Of course.
So it's totally against our modern, let's say, even philosophy, of being
exactly.
efficient, of having instant feedback. And of course, that means that the computer has to rate it based on the 0-1 kind of system, right?
Yeah,
that's true. This is a huge risk for education in general, I think. This kind of 0-1, unless AI will help us. Not touching this subject here again, but
please don't.
All right, great.
But to be honest, if we could use AI to evaluate the answer, open answer, we could reduce the subjective part of a teacher, of a person that
you're right.
evaluate the test. So of course, that's the future.
All right, thanks a lot. Ela, do you have anything to add to it?
No, I think that everything is clear.
Yeah, I would like to sort of begin wrapping up this meeting here. Great conversation.
Can I say something?
Yes, Masha, you can.
And this was the end of round 1.
All right, great. So thanks a lot. It's been great listening to you. I hope you weren't too stressed out after all. Great communication. It's like we are having conversations that could easily go off the record, because they are very spontaneous, natural, and so on. It's great. It doesn't. I find. What, Kasia,
I have got one thing. Sorry for this, but I forgot when Ela was talking about, but what does it mean successful? And I remember one interview with Bob Marley, and he was
Mhm.
asked, Bob, are you a rich man? And he answered, rich man, what does it mean being rich? It's money makes you rich. And so I hope that all of us will find, I don't know, something that makes us rich and successful. Yeah,
All right, great,
that's my
great, and
addition.
right. Thanks a lot. And this is what we wish ourselves, what we wish to our listeners. Fantastic bunch of right now 140, I guess, subscribers on Spotify alone, plus YouTube. So thanks a lot to everybody who's listening on various platforms. Thanks a lot to you, Kasia and Ela, and Masha, for
Thank you.
everything, for being part of this show. And we keep recording further episodes, Masha. Is that right?
I thought it was the last one, and that's why the
Yeah, what was
celebration.
that was the idea,
Oh
to
no.
record 100, but then we pause at 99, and so I guess we have right now the momentum to keep going.
Okay. Okay then.
Great. Thanks a lot
Only if
for this
somebody
contribution.
leaves a comment. That's fair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fair.
We didn't get a single comment in
Yeah,
what?
it's true. So, guys, get interactive. Please stop commenting, sharing. There are lots of opportunities for that on Spotify and other platforms. So, yeah, we encourage you to send us the feedback.
It was a pleasure for me. Thank you for invitation, and I'm looking forward to meet in real life.
All right, great. Thanks a lot to everybody. Masha, it's over to you.
This was 100. How is it pronounced? 100.
Yeah,
100?
you're right. You're right. 100.
100.
100.
100. 100. 100th episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thank you, everyone. It's been quite a ride. Stay with us. Stay tuned
For
the next
the
one.
next
Okay.
one. Come on.
Freudian sleep. Stay tuned
All
for the
right.
next one. Bye,
Thanks a
everyone.
lot.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.